What's up, man? Listen, I want to just talk to y'all on some real note today. I would title this video "The Day I Realized I Was a Slave." This is real talk. I've been an entrepreneur for 9 years. I've had entrepreneur spirit pretty much all my life, but I've been full-time for myself for 9 years. I hadn't worked a job, and it's been some ups, it's been some downs. It's been quite an experience, but for the most part, I hadn't had a boss to answer to, and I've been free in that aspect. But I'm just giving you a little history on my life as an entrepreneur. Start having some good times, good days, and prosperous years, man, and all during the so-called recession, I was prospering. Every year I was making more and more money every year, while people was complaining like, man, it's recession. And I wasn't feeling it at all. It wasn't affecting me at all. All glory and honor to God. I didn't feel the effects of the recession, and it was in 2012 where I purchased a nice vehicle. It wasn't brand new. It was a 2010 Dodge Charger, like 30,000 miles on it, and felt good about that. It was pretty awesome, man, to have a nice car to ride in for me and my family. And the following year, 2013, purchased a home, $125,000 home, 4-bedroom home, nice neighborhood, pretty awesome, man. And some would wonder, like, how you do this and you ain't got no job? And it was puzzling to some, but I was working. I was grinding. I was putting forth the effort to build my empire, right? And everything was good. And so here it is, man. Well, we live in what you would think to be a comfortable life. Nice home, nice car, big dogs, fenced in yard, even had a doggy door. Man. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And one day I sat and thought about something. I'm like, man, because I used to reflect on what I was doing and how awesome it was to not have to answer to a boss, not have to go and punch a clock, and be able to, if I want to be off, I can do that. I took I guess you would say pride in that. I don't know. I enjoyed not being obligated to answer to a boss who could hire or fire me. That felt good for me. But one day I realized, I sat down and I thought about some things, and I was like, man, I thought about, because let me back up. My land taxes went up in the area that I purchased a home, the land taxes went up. And I wasn't a happy camper about that, man. I wasn't at all. Because when that happened, my mortgage went up almost $200. And extra $200 a month, you could do a lot with that. And now I got to include this in my mortgage, and I'm like, okay, I didn't like that. So so I just sat down and thought one day. I'm like, man, who am I working for? I really analyzed it, and I come to the conclusion that I was working for the bank. I was working for the bank. I was self-employed, yet I didn't have a boss to answer to, yet I was working for the bank. I realized that I was a slave to stuff. I was a slave to that car. I was a slave to that house. I was a slave to this stuff, man. Because here's the thing, a lot of, especially middle American, the middle class, which is pretty much extinct. There is either poor or rich. The middle class is pretty much non-existent these days, but it's still a little, I don't know. However, if there's a middle class, then they're usually the ones that stress over having to work to keep their stuff. The poor don't worry about that, because the poor ain't got nothing. They depend on government. They in housing. They in the projects. The government pay their rent. Poor don't. It's just nothing. It's irrelevant for them. The rich is irrelevant for them because they into assets, and it's nothing for them. It's nothing for them. Get out of the house, sell it, go get another one, whatever, however they do it, right? But for the middle class, it can become strenuous when you look at the stuff you have, and then you realize that this stuff I gotta pay for, and I'm not financially free. So in order to pay for it, I gotta keep taking garbage from this so-called boss of mine, this supervisor, right? And we don't want to do it. No, we don't want to do it. If we tell the truth, the majority. Now, I'm not talking to you if you love your job. I'm not talking to you. Cool out, chill out. I'm talking to the ones who if you really tell the truth, you don't want to be at the office on Monday morning through Friday. You don't want to be in that chemical plant. Man, don't even talk about that, because I done experienced that life, man. 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts. I done did that. It is not what's up. The money, you can't even enjoy it because you're so tired up. But when we talking about being a slave today, this is my personal testimony of when I realized that I was a slave, man. I was a slave to the banks. Why? Because I done got this stuff and I felt accomplished, man. And to all those out there, you purchase a home, and they call you a homeowner. But are you really? Unless you have the title deed, you are not a homeowner. That's the bank's home. They own that home. You don't own nothing. And they own you. This is real talk, man. Some of y'all may want to jump off here. You probably can't stand to hear it, but this is just real talk. And this is me sharing with you the day that I discovered I was a slave, man. I was a slave to the banking system. And that's when, see, I always knew I had to be financially free. I always knew that. But when this day occurred in my life, being financially free became really urgent for me. Really urgent. And so I began to grind. Man. And I began to build businesses, networking. Because I ain't with this traditional business model. I'm just, to each its own. But I don't want all that overhead. I don't want the stress of dealing with employees and all this. I don't need that. That's just me. So I'm into networking, and I go to building these businesses. I had little to no success with several companies. But I had a fire burning within me that said, boy, you got to be financially free. You got to be free from the bondage of this debt system. And man, I can just give glory and honor to God right now. Because God is good, man, and He know how to make a way. And so now I have a new goal. My new goal is to help as many as I can become financially free. Some of you may pose the question now. Some of that there probably got some of y'all wondering. That's good, wondering. But all I can say is God is good, and financial freedom is a reality for me. I'm thankful, I'm grateful. And what I would like to do for those that's watching, those that's listening, I would like to share some information with you. Now, it's up to you to take advantage of it. See, here's what many don't know. Millionaires are being created every day in America, every day. And many just don't, or many are just not in the know. So what I want to do, I want to put you in the know. I want to put you in the know. That's all I want to do. You don't have to be a slave to the bank, to these gangsters. They the real gangsters, man. Central bankers. They the real gangsters, man. You cats out there, man, y'all ain't no gangsters, man. Them cats, that's them gangsters, man. You don't have to be a slave to them, man. There is a better way. I'm going to leave a link in the description section below. I want you to check this thing out, man. And, you know, like the saying goes, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. I'm just a person who determined in my mind that when I discovered that I was a slave, I determined that I was going to break free from the bondage of debt. And now I want to share some information with you to help you as well. God bless y'all. Thanks for tuning in. It's victory, baby.